Yeah.
There's a lot of people that say they got a stressful job, and you go, what do? You're like, fuck all, mate. That's what you do.
Unpopular opinion, but I think being a barista is one, if not the hardest job out there.
28-hour brain surgery. That must have been hard.
Hard? I used to be a barista.
That's good. This actually goes back to it's all relative. Are you telling me that during that morning rush, you're not going to be under the pump? And being under the pump is not stressful?
Well, let's answer the first question, right? Is being a barista the world's hardest job?
No.
Now, but if I heard you right, didn't you just say it's all relative?
I'm talking about stress, though.
Yeah. So are you distinguishing stress from hard?
Yes. That's exactly what I'm doing. So I think a lot of people get this confused. They get stress and difficulty mixed up. So you could be under a lot of stress doing some things that a lot of people find simple or basic. And that's relative. But it doesn't take away the stress you're feeling. And that's why I think this is an important message and a good piss take. That guy who's a doctor, he's got the emotional foundations, the educational foundations, and the psychological foundations to take stress to another level. The reason I bring this up, actually, is I read something very interesting.
What, eustress?
What?
Eustress.
What's eustress?
EU. Oh, I actually thought you knew.
Well, no.
Okay. Keep going.
But look, this article was talking about how why mental health is important, that your ability to tolerate stress at different levels of difficulty is what's most important, because stress is stress. Whether you feel it as a barista or doing the supermarket shopping, if you feel high levels of stress at lower level activities of difficulty, they say, then that's going to limit you in other situations. So, but that doesn't take away from the intensity of the stress you feel. So I think this is a great video and quite insightful.
If I understand what you're saying, subjectively, the world's hardest job would be a stress interpretation or a self-feeling of difficulty, and objectively, then you'd be talking about something that requires the most amount of focus, skill, craftsmanship. So this piss take is focusing on the objective side.
Yes.
Whereas my interest is more about the subjective, because for me, this is no different to the argument people say that if you're a millionaire, why is your life hard? Why are you under financial stress?
But because your benchmark for stress is at that level of playing field. Whereas, someone who's had a different upbringing and different levels of difficulty, mental health challenges, their level of stress might be working at the local KFC or at the Kmart.
There's that, and then there's also, as humans, we adapt to our situation.
Correct, yeah.
And from there, any change to what you've normalized feels hard.
Absolutely. So I think the biggest takeaway people can, understand about this is the world's hardest job for you is whatever you find most stressful, and you can choose to go on the journey to decide if it's something you're going to tackle to make it less stressful, or whether you choose something else to do.
So like the job of putting your phone on silent, definitely hard for you.
That was your phone, wasn't it?
What?
That was your phone.
Nah.
We'll edit this out. Must have been a vibrate.
I heard it vibrate.
Oh, yeah, it's fine.
So takeaway is...
The hardest job for you is what you find most stressful. Yeah.
All right. What is the world's hardest job? What could that actually be?
The world's hardest job is whatever the most difficult objective job is based on the society or culture you live in.
I reckon the world's hardest job is to show up day in, day out. The job of actually pushing yourself to do things you don't want to do.
Is that a principle or a job?
I think it's both.
Wow, that's some real talk right there.
Real talk part 4.